Hello, my name is Glenn Dyer, and you are watching a Dyer-Situation. I apologize for the camera. It's going to be like this for a few days, maybe a few weeks, I don't know. My camera, I don't know what the hell happened to it, but I brought it out this morning, and this is the footage I was getting from it. So, you know, even less acceptable than what I'm doing now. This is the webcam on my laptop, so that's why I'm a little janky. But, you know, it's functional. So, just try to ignore it until I get a new camera. Anyway, today I am seeing... Jeez, I just looked at the list. Goosebumps, and today I'm seeing Goosebumps. Oh man, this movie physically hurts me. This hurts my childhood. You know, I was the biggest fan of Goosebumps back in the day. The biggest. I owned like all of the original series and most of the ever spin-offs that R.L. Stine makes, because he writes like a book a minute or something. And Jesus, such a huge fan. I eventually grew out of it. I sold all my issues and stuff, but I still have nostalgia for it. It's still great. Books never actually scared me. Like I can't recall a single time that I was actually scared by them, but they were entertaining and they were thoughtful, and they're certainly not what this movie seems to want to be. Seriously, the second somebody said starring Jack Black, this project was over. Why? Think of it. You're tasked. Let me just put myself in the shoes of the people who made this. I am tasked with making a Goosebumps movie. Producer has approached me, said, "Here, have a ton of money, make a Goosebumps movie." So I said, so here's my thought process. My process would be, okay, well, this is a good idea. Goosebumps is a big license. All the kids who used to read it are now grown up, so we should be taking advantage of this. Now, the only problem is that the Goosebumps license itself is actually much more popular than any of its individual stories. So if we did, I don't know, Goosebumps, The Beast from the East, the movie, it just wouldn't work, you know? It's just not popular enough to get a movie like that to its name. Now, so that really leaves you with two viable options. One, make an anthology movie, so you have several different storylines that happen within there, and that's a little risky, it's harder to pull off. Or create a brand new movie inspired by the style of the books, and just make it like an actual Goosebumps movie. Maybe have R.L. Stine actually come in and write stuff. Instead, they went on a third wheel and decided, let's have one of those really meta things where the books contain power and knowledge and monsters come out of them and they're all slapsticky humor monsters and everything's a joke. Because the books aren't that scary, so we should just throw it in the other direction even though we're not very funny. God, I hate that. That is such an insult. You know, I was a fan of the TV show. I never found the show scary. Well, the intro music freaked me out, but that was about it. But it was sincere. I got the intention that it was trying with the budget it had. But the same thing with the books. I got the intention it was trying without actually, like, resorting to you know, putting in stuff that shouldn't be in a kid's book. I got the feeling it was trying. This isn't trying. This is trying to be something else. Something shitty. Starring Jack Black. That's just the icing on the cake, I guess. The shit cake. This looks awful. Everything I see. There was a Vsauce free video that came out, and Jack Black had a small cameo in it. I don't know if he was in any more of it. I'm told it was only at the beginning and the end where he's there, but he annoyed me so much that I turned off the video. She was like, "Hello, I am R.L. Stine." I said, "You are never, ever gonna be R.L. Stine, you..." God. I know, it's not his fault, I know. If I was offered $6 million to be in Goosebumps, I would take it. But God. Not, not looking forward to this. I think it's going to blow chunks. Like, blow mega chunks. I don't know if it'll be worse than Pan. I don't know. But it's going to suck. I'm almost dead certain of that. Okay, I guess I'll start off by saying it wasn't as bad as I thought. It still sucks, but it's not that terrible. In fact, most of my hate probably comes from blinding me with nostalgia. Yeah, it sucks. Where do I even begin? Alright, for one thing, they found a way to try and minimize Jack Black, how awful a cast choice it is to have Jack Black as R.L. Stine. They tried to minimize that by casting some other kid who looks a lot like the dude who played Rusty in that new Vacation movie, and he's just as annoying. I think they hired that kid just so they could have a character that made Jack Black look less annoying by comparison. Because that kid was heinous. Just god-awful. Every second he was on screen, I wanted to die. It was awful. And jeez, this movie just feels incompetent. Like the people who thought it up thought it sounded like a great idea, but nobody looked at them and said, "No, guys, this sounds like really shitty fan fiction." The plot is basically, oh yeah, R.L. Stine and all of his monsters in a movie starring together with Jack Black. Like, it sounds like a terrible fan fiction, doesn't it? And the problem with this is that anybody who has any kind of nostalgia for those characters, for the monster characters, will feel insulted by this movie. Because, especially at the end, they get grouped together in this big horde, where I guess you're just supposed to pick them up and say, oh, look, there's that ghost kid I like, and he is charging around like an idiot, and there's that mummy I like, and it's charging around like an idiot, and there's that praying mantis thing, and it's charging around like an idiot. Like, there's no distinction between them. They just get blurred together, and it's insulting. It truly is. Just the ending of this got really terrible. When it started off, this was just like, meh, and then it got really bad towards the end. Just on the scale. Really awkward scenes, including like some sort of rushed romance scene with R.L. Stine and this one crazy ant lady, which, honest to God, I knew it would happen too. I knew that this was the kind of movie that would do that, where he runs into someone and he's like, oh, hello, ma'am. And honestly, it made me grow another tumor. I could actually feel it growing. I have plenty of tumors, by the way. The biggest one I have is called Moffat. It's about an inch big. He's my biggest. And it happens from me watching Doctor Who. There's also several other much smaller ones. Well, let's see if I can find them. They really are small in comparison to the Moffat one, but there's plenty of them. Here we go. Whenever I hear anything from Vine, this one gets a little bit bigger. There we go. People being stupid about politics on the internet. Yeah, okay. Oh, and the Goosebumps one, right here, it's just a baby. It's a teensy baby. I don't know if it'll grow. Maybe it'll just go back. None of the others have gone back, but you never know. But yeah, every time something sickens me to my core, I grow another tumor. The Doctor Who one hasn't shrunk in a long time. I'm really worried about it. I'm hoping it doesn't burst and make it so I hate everything. It could happen. Ooh. Oh, sorry, my romantic comedy tumor is acting up. Anyway, right, so this movie's ending is just incredibly awful. For one thing, it has a twist that doesn't make any sense, like any goddamn sense. Like, in after the movie's over, and then suddenly, oh no, kind of twist, and it was awful. But the other thing was, this movie, at its core, what it was trying to say through its messy, disabled mouth was to learn acceptance, right? Our main character's dad has recently died, and he hasn't quite gotten to grips with it, even though the actor doesn't act like it that well, and that kind of gets forgotten. But it's still there, and R.L. Stine, I don't feel right calling him R.L. Stine, because the R.L. Stine in this movie acts nothing like R.L. Stine in real life. I've seen videos of him, and he's like the nicest dude, and he doesn't act at all like that. So I'll just call him Jack Black. And Jack Black, he ever since he was a kid, he'd been shut off from the world and just grew really angry at everyone. He needs to learn to accept everything and move on from that. And that's what the movie is about. So at the end, they lose a character. God, I can't even describe it. But they lose this character, right? She's gone. She's actually dead. And they bring her back. She gets written back. Literally and figuratively, she just gets written back, and everybody's happy. Even though it's not her, it's like a clone. It's like a replica. But nobody cares. They're just like, hooray, she's back! And that is so shallow and quite frankly disgusting. I don't even like thinking about it that much. It was truly despicable. I couldn't believe that they actually put that in there. Who do I recommend to? I guess, I don't know, if you have a kid that's interested in the books, they might like it. I hated it. All the way through, I really didn't like it. It's probably a little better than I'm making it out to be, but not much, I can assure you. Just cause, nostalgia connection, I guess. And Jack Black in a few scenes was funny-ish, but not much. Really, really shouldn't have been playing R.L. Stine. There was an R.L. Stine cameo, which, props for trying, but at that point I just hated the movie so much that it pissed me off. Of course, I immediately recognized him too. And that was another thing. Let's see, I don't necessarily want this movie to be like Black Mass, where they put on really silly-looking makeup so that Jack Black looks exactly like R.L. Stine. No, I don't want it like that, because in Black Mass it was really distracting and creepy. But in this, they didn't even bother to give Jack Black R.L. Stine's signature mole. He looks absolutely nothing like him, acts absolutely nothing like him. Makes me wonder why we would ever think that that's the case, that is R.L. Stine. I don't know. Although apparently R.L. Stine likes the movie, but as I said, he's the nicest guy. He likes a lot of stuff. Really funny, because he writes children's horror novels, but when you see videos of him, he's like, hey guys, I got a new creepy video, or, creepy book coming out to bookshelves near you. It'll be another goosebumpy adventure. He's just a nice, cheerful dude. There you go. Another thing, they made a couple of Stephen King jokes in this. They actually got Jack Black pissed off by saying that Stephen King was a better author or something. I don't know. I find that kind of funny, because, in a lot of his books, the publishing company will say, oh, he's the Stephen King of children's horror, or something like that. So I thought that was kind of interesting that they touched on it. Personally, I think that Stephen King and R.L. Stine are I don't know, cheese and wine. They have their place. They're very different things, though. And funny thing is, back in my Goosebumps reading days, I decided I wanted to be, tough. So I don't think I told this story, but I decided to read a Stephen King novel, and I wanted to be tough about it. I'm like, oh yeah, I read Goosebumps all the time, and they've never scared me. They never did scare me. So I'm surely I can step up to Stephen King, because he's supposed to be the adult one. That means he's hardcore, right? I read it. book I picked out was The Dark Tower Part 5. This is before I learned my lesson of never reading the Part 5 in a series. I was reading The Dark Tower Part 5, and once again, another terrible idea because that's not even his typical style, The Dark Tower. But during the first chapter, like, honestly, God, it's really laughable now, but I was so innocent back in those days that hearing a certain swear word over and over actually made me feel kind of sick. Because there's a place in that book called "Son of a Bitch," and as a kid, like honestly, I'm not even joking, it made me sick reading that word over and over and over again. I know, total weenie, but forgive me, I was like 10. I couldn't take it. That was my first experience with Stephen King. But now I've read the entire Dark Tower series and I love it. But it's just funny to think that, back then you had different sensibilities. You felt differently about stuff. Like, it's pretty interesting. This movie sucks. And until next time, I'm Glenn Dyer, and you have been watching a Dyer-Situation.